And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we brave the desert heat out here at Phoenix International Raceway for race number 12 of Season 1 of the NNSCRA TaxSlayer Truck Series, continuing on our chase towards the chase for the championship. We are on race number 12. We have completed 11 races, technically 12 if you count the doubleheader that we had at Bristol, and out of those 12 races we have run, believe it or not, folks, we have 12 different drivers who have gone to victory lane so far this year, and there are only, as we have stressed all season long, even up to the first race of Daytona, 8 spots available in the chase for the championship. So at this point, 4 drivers would be going home if the chase were to start now, despite having a trip to victory lane. Right now, the 8 slots are currently held by A Garcia, Joshua Hyatt, Alex Gray, Nick Johnson, Joshua Ciculli, Charles Jackson, Jonathan Zoerlein, and Nicholas Raill. And Raill only holds a 5-point advantage over last week's winner, Jake Moss, who is now up to 30th in the point standings with his win last week. So it is really tight still, and we could end up seeing Raill and Moss both outside of the 8 slots looking in. If we have somebody from 28th on up to the top of the point standings go to victory lane here today at Phoenix. So, you know, there's still so much that can happen here, and we're only into race number 12 of the season. So it is still a lot of really tough tracks on the schedule going to be coming up in the upcoming weeks. Next week we go to Arizona, and then the following week we go to Iowa. We go to a road course at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. We got Rockingham, Daytona, Hillside, DuQuoin, and then the regular season finale at M&M's. All these tracks, highly technical. They play to the strengths of some drivers. They play to the strengths of other drivers. Some drivers that we would consider the favorites may end up having bad luck. Some drivers may not consider, may end up jumping up to the forefront. It's crazy. And as I said, only 8 valuable spots on the line in order to be able to get into the chase for the championship. So it is so crucial that drivers pick up a second, third win to make sure they are going to be locked into one of those 8 spots. And we have here on the front row 2 drivers who could do just that. 2 former winners this season. Nick Johnson, who won at Talladega Superspeedway, and alongside him, Joshua Hyatt, who won at Dover. Both of them have a win this season. Right now, if the chase were to begin, they would have a spot in those 8 slots of the chase for the championship playoff standings. But a second win today could be a lock-in for them. We'll have to see what happens. Let's go down and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
32 laps of racing here today at Phoenix for the Lucas Oil 150. So our stages will be 10, 10, and 12. So it added 2 laps there onto our third stage. And we will now give you a top 10. The point standings coming into this race, brought to you by Golden Corral. Ace Garcia continues to grow his points lead as he holds 60 points now in hand over Jessica Miles, who jumped up to second. Then it's Seth Cole in third, Joseph Srigley in fourth. We see him going to be starting pretty close to the front of the field here in fourth place. Joshua Hyatt is fifth. Tyler Deaver in 6th. He has really jumped up with the point stands as Hyatt's got some issues here on the start. It looks like problems for our Dover winner, the 83. Marcus Saatchi is 7th, 8th Ryan Brommer, then Alex Gray and Ryan Madden are your top 10. Only 3 of our former race winners this season are in the top 10 in the point standings. Nick Johnson, who starts in the pole, comes into this race 17th in the points. He only has 2 top 5 finishes this season, one of them the trip to victory lane at Talladega, looking for another one here today, preferably a second trip to victory lane. Green flag is out, we're underway at Phoenix, let's roll! And we'll have to keep tabs on Joshua Hyatt during the course of this race because coming to pit road, not where he wants to be, as Darren Davidson went up the middle 3 wide there, and he almost went up into the left front of Mason Wood. It is so tight off the corners here, and now he's going to get put in the middle 3 wide. His teammate Marty Czekala will go to the inside, and his other teammate Tristan Allen has been able to clear Nick Johnson, and he will lead the first lap of the day here at Phoenix International Raceway. Davidson trying to make it Top Gun Motorsports 1-2, and he will complete the pass there through turn number 2, as that was a close. Oh, there goes Srigley! He saves it! What a save by the 90! They were 4 wide, and there you see as well Isaac Nicholls up the track. He's into the wall in the 19. Trying to get off that wall. The wall kind of sucking him in. He's trying to get off the wall without contact. He got into Davey Johnson, but they keep it straight. Good to doesn't take them long to get crazy here at Phoenix, but somehow we're still green. Move back up towards the front. This is the battle for 5th place. Shane Lake, the inside of Stuart Gratton. Lake having a tough race last week at Darlington, trying to bounce back as he's now going to try and go 3 for the price of 1. Now going to get underneath Srigley and Nick Johnson. And just like that, Shane Lake went from 6th now to 3rd place. And problems with the 74 of Marcus Saatchi. The race leader Tristan Allen has caught him already. I don't know if he might have also had to come to pit road early in this thing. But another driver who came in running top 10 in the points, 7th in the standings. Tough break there for him. Looks like he's going to go a lap down very early in this one as well. And Marcus Saatchi will now be the first car 1 lap down. Joshua Hyatt still on pit road, I believe. No, he's actually left pit road. I think, or is he out of the race? He's out of the race. He never even got to take the green. A piston problem for Joshua Hyatt. So our Dover race winner going to take a huge hit in the point standings. Is up front. Battle for the lead is on. Shane Lake to the bottom, and he will go to the race lead. Now Shane Lake coming into this race, 14th in the point standings. Last week was one of the worst finishes he's had this season at Darlington when he finished off the lead lap. But he's been pretty consistent this season. As mentioned, he was up coming into that Darlington race. He was in, I believe it was the 9th position in the points. Dropped down to outside the top 10 in 14th, but trying to bounce back with a good run here. And if he would win today, that would put him into one of those 8 slots in the playoff grid, and that would knock out Nicholas Raill. Teammates side by side for second. A couple of other drivers here, one struggling, one semi-struggling. Tristan Allen is 13th in points. He was another driver who didn't have a good run last week at Darlington. Dropped 6 spots in the standings from 7th to 13th. And then Darren Davidson, currently 32nd in the point standings. If he can't win today, obviously he'd love a good, consistent top 5 run to be able to get back into the top 30 in the points, which is where he's at right now. How about Charles Jackson? We haven't really seen much out of Charles since he went to victory lane back at, I think it was Richmond, I want to say? No. Where did he win? Was it Richmond? No, it wasn't Richmond. It was Kansas. And Jackson coming into this race currently finds himself 25th in the point standings. So while he's continuing to try and claw his way up through the points, looking good right now as he's trying to work his way up into the top 5, and he has succeeded, now taking the 4th position away from Stuart Gratton. And are you surprised to see Ace Garcia up here at the front of the field? Well, if you haven't been keeping tabs on this whole season, then you would be surprised. But when you're like me and have seen how strong this 51 truck has been all year long, it is no surprise at all. Ace Garcia, I honestly feel that he is just making a clear case for himself where he's going to probably be locked into the point standings chase for the championship within the next 3 or 4 weeks. With the gap he is growing between himself and second in points. Coming into this race, 60 points over Jessica Miles, and it's been somewhere between 50 to 60 points every week as the caution is out for the first time here today. And it happens at the completion of stage 1. So Shane Lake will win the first stage of the day. 10 valuable bonus points and a playoff point as you see smoke there on the backstretch in the dogleg area. So these drivers will get the opportunity to come to pit road under caution. There was a possibility they may have to pit under green if this thing went green flag all the way. Let's see if anybody's going to come to pit road here or not. If they don't come to pit road, that may be an indication they were good to go on fuel from the start of this race. And no one's coming to pit road. Davey Johnson is towards the rear of the field here. I don't see a lot of visible damage on the South Point Chevrolet. Joshua Ciculli, Alex Gray, Zach Rogers also at the back of the pack here. So we may have ended up having just a car spin out. And what in the world is going on with the 43 of Shane Lake? All of a sudden he pulls down to the inside of the racetrack. Now that is not a good indication. That's very similar to what Joshua Hyatt did under pacing when we were getting ready to go green. Oh man, and Shane Lake is bringing his car down towards the yellow line, which means he's probably going to come to pit road. Now, hopefully, this is something they can get him out and be able to keep him on the lead lap, but he's giving up the race lead, and he would restart all the way back, I think, in like the 41st position if they do get him back on the racetrack. So that is a huge track position blow for the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, and that would turn the race lead over to Darren Davidson in the 0-1. But for now, let's go back and look at a replay of what brought out this caution. It looks like there's going to be a lead change here under the pacing of our first yellow flag at Phoenix. Well, we're going to start the replay from just heading into turn 2, and there you see it right there. The 73 of Ciculli goes a little wide. He gets up into Tyler Deaver. Deaver gets him in the left rear, turns him down into Zach Rogers and Davey Johnson. Jake Rogers and Seth Cole get some damage. Seth Cole, a lot of front-end damage there on the 98. Alex Gray gets a piece. Second in the points, Jessica Miles, I believe, also got some of that. Paul Minnick runs into the back of Alex Gray. Those two were the winners the same week at Bristol Dirt, the 0 and the 54. There's Rogers. There is the other Rogers, Zach and Jake. Jake Moss, last week's winner from Darlington, he might have been involved. He might have gotten up in the wall to avoid. And Seth Cole's got a lot of hood damage on that car, on the Netflix Chevrolet. And I also saw Jessica Miles get a piece of that too in the 25, but we didn't see her come to pit road. And I don't see any real visible damage on that Chevy, so she might be okay. I thought there was another car that I saw get up into the wall and get some damage too, and it might have been Jake Rogers that I'm thinking of, excuse me. And Seth Cole coming to pit road there, third in the point stands. It's been a dismal couple of weeks for that team. And Paul Minnick probably came to pit road as well. Quite a bit of damage when he ran into the back of Alex Gray. So that's what brought out the caution. Let's go back for the green. Darren Davidson has inherited the lead after some kind of mechanical problem apparently has plagued Shane Lake, who at the time was our race leader. And we'll get ready to get back green during our second stage of today's race here at Phoenix. Green flag set to come back out on lap 15 of 32. That should give us a total of 18 laps to go here at Phoenix. Darren Davidson, the race leader. Teammate Tristan Allen there in second. Charles Jackson now third with Stuart Gratton, Ace Garcia, your top five. Then it's Gabe Williams, Ryan Madden, Jonathan Zoerlein, Joseph Srigley, and Nick Johnson, the pole sitter, in the top 10. Green flag back out. They've got a lap truck to deal with in the form of Marcus Saatchi. He is one lap down to the leaders, and out of the race are the cars of Seth Cole, Paul Minnick, and Joshua Hyatt. Hyatt out of the race early in this one as they're three wide here. Charles Jackson to the bottom. Hyatt out, not able to even take the green flag, and Seth Cole, Paul Minnick out after our only caution so far today. Shane Lake has returned to the track, still on the lead lap, but in the 38th position. And the new leader is Charles Jackson in the Dollar General Toyota Tundra, as he will lead this lap. Mentioned drivers wanting to get their second wins to lock themselves up a spot in the chase. Well, Charles Jackson trying to do just that. Used the 74, the lap truck of Marcus Saatchi, as a pick to go three wide on the back straightaway with Darren Davidson. Completed the pass, and now the question is, can he hold everybody else off? Another equally strong Toyota starting to work his way up through the field. Ace Garcia taking fourth from Stuart Gratton. Now going to try and get by Tristan Allen and Darren Davidson, who have been stuck up to the high side. Look at Ace Garcia. Look how he was able to turn through the center of the corner down to the bottom. He's going to try a three-wide maneuver to get third place from Tristan Allen, using the 74 of Marcus Saatchi as a pick. Not going to be able to quite do it, as Tristan Allen's going to be able to clear the 74, but Garcia keeps his foot in the throttle. He'll clear Tristan Allen for the moment. Allen now battles back on the high side out of 4. And they're going to go three wide for second. Allen through the middle. Garcia low. Davidson up high. Ooh, give room, guys. And look at this. Ryan Madden in the 99 waiting to see which line's going to open up. He might try and blow by all three of these guys. There's almost a little contact there between Garcia and Allen as they enter into 3. And one guy that's got to be loving this has got to be Ryan Madden, right behind all this action. Another guy who's equally got to be loving this is Charles Jackson, because as these guys battle for second, he's driving away with the race lead. Look at these two teammates out of Top Gun Motorsports. Tristan Allen in the 12, Darren Davidson in the 01. But neither one of them look like teammates right now. They're competitors on the track, wanting that second position. Ace Garcia almost into the back of Tristan Allen as he tries to get him a little wiggly off of turn number 4. great racing, and this isn't for the lead, this is for second place, but still a really good battle going on here. Garcia, Allen, Davison, all battling tooth and nail. Again, almost some contact between the 51 and the 12. And Charles Jackson might as well just be looking out the windshield trying to put down qualifying laps, because as these three continue to battle side by side, there's no way any one of these drivers is going to be able to get a good enough run to be able to get up to the back bumper of Jackson and challenge, as they are leaning on each other there out of turn 2. And it's like a moving wall right now for Gratton, Madden, and all the others behind him, because neither lane is really being able to get going. They are still 3 wide side by side. It seems like when Garcia gets a run through the center, Allen and Davison are able to battle back in the middle and high group. Look at this, they're still 3 wide. Neither line able to get an edge. Ooh, contact between the 12 and the 0-1. And that might allow Garcia to get by them both. He's going to try and move up in front of Allen. I think he was clear, and indeed he is. Allen tries to block Ryan Madden, but Madden sticks his nose in, says not so fast. I want third place, as Davison got a little loose there off turn 4. Now he's going to lose third, he's going to lose fourth, and he may lose fifth because Stuart Gratton is all over his back bumper in the 31. So now the battle is on for third. Madden trying to take the spot from Tristan Allen. In that span of time that we were showing you with that 3 wide battling, Charles Jackson been able to grow his race lead by about 9/10 of a second. But now Ace Garcia has cleared for second. Madden now clears for third. The question is, can they start closing up that gap and reeling in Charles Jackson potentially for the race lead, maybe for the race win, as it'll be 8 laps to go this next time by. There you see Charles Jackson, and just barely in the same frame was the hood of the 51 of Ace Garcia. The last thing Charles Jackson wants to see right now would be a caution flag, because that would bring the Eris Toyota right to his back bumper, and more than likely if it came out that caution in the next 2 to 3 laps, we would get back to green flag racing with probably a green-white checkered or a 1-lap shootout. And that gap almost looks like it's visibly closing, but the telemetry ticker does not say that. It actually holds it at status quo, just a little under 9/10. Let's see if it closes this time. And it closed by maybe about 8/100ths, not much. The thing that is closing is Ryan Madden onto the back bumper of Ace Garcia, so this battle for second place may be heating up, which could be the proverbial white flag from the field, surrendering this win to Charles Jackson. And Jackson could very well become the first repeat winner this season. The other thing I'm wondering too, though, is with CTS Physics and them running as close as they are, second, third, fourth, would they produce a faster lap time than Jackson and be able to reel him in? Answer to that, yes. They just closed it up by about 1/10 between themselves and the 4. So do they have enough time, if they work together like this, to be able to catch Charles Jackson and battle for this win? And now Garcia's going to lose his drafting buddies. Stuart Gratton to the bottom on Ryan Madden. That's the battle for third place. Let's see if Garcia made up any ground this lap. It was about 7/10 between himself and Jackson last time. This time by stays exactly the same. And the thing that is not on Ace Garcia's side right now is time and amount of laps left. Next time by, it's 4 laps to go. Charles Jackson was a surprise winner when he took the checkered flag back at Kansas. But now he has put himself towards the forefront as maybe a potential title contender. Jackson trying to become the first repeat winner this season. He's up currently to 25th in the point standings, and he's looking to try and pick up win number 2 here in his first full-time season in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. You think back to his season last year when he'd raced in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter system. Never went to victory lane in a non-charter race, but he made a race finishing top 7 at Richmond, made a main event race, and was a non-charter driver who went to victory lane in that Richmond event. So Charles Jackson, no stranger to stepping up when it matters the most, and right now it's looking like he could very well be en route to putting himself into a locked up spot in one of those 8 slots in the playoffs for the TaxSlayer Truck Series. He has now increased his gap again between himself and Ace Garcia, who might not actually be second place driver when they get to the checkers, as Ryan Madden is now to the inside of him for that runner-up spot. Stuart Gratton right back there as well with 2 laps to go. This could be the best battle racing back to the checkers, as Jackson with over 9/10 in hand, almost a full second. Looks like he's going to have no pressure on him for this win here today in the Lucas Oil 150. Madden will clear. He will take second. Garcia back to third. Gratton there in fourth as the white flag was just displayed for Charles Jackson. Jackson's first win of the season came back at Kansas. That was 4 races ago. 5 races ago if you count this race. And now Charles Jackson will pick up his second win in 5 starts. The Lucas Oil 150 at Phoenix will go to Charles Jackson. He takes the checkers in the desert. And Madden just held on to second place over Ace Garcia. Charles Jackson, what a run here today for him. He becomes the first driver to notch a 2 in the win column in TaxSlayer Truck Series history. And with that, provided he can stay in the top 30 in the point standings, he has probably just locked himself up a spot in this season's TaxSlayer Truck Series chase for the championship. Take a look here as the standings should now be official. They are indeed. Jackson brings it home with the win. Ryan Madden will finish in second. A great run for a guy who came in top 10 in points for Ryan. So, if that 99 team can find victory lane, he could find himself in a good position by the time we get to the end of the regular season. Ace Garcia, anybody got a bucket of water to throw over the hot of this guy? Good grief, another top 5 finishes. He's going to get third. Believe it or not, he's only got now 3 top 5 finishes, but he has 5 top 10 finishes, which ties him with Joshua Hyatt and Marcus Saatchi, I should say, for most top 10s this season. He's going to get third. Stuart Gratton's going to bring it home in fourth. A great run for him, so that'll put him into the top 20 in the points. And D Davison was out in front a bit in this one, and he'll finish the day out in fifth. Teammate Tristan Allen there in sixth. Jonathan Zoerlein finishes seventh with Gabe Williams in eighth. Didn't talk much about the 13 today. Great run for him. How about Nicholas Raill? He's going to get ninth place. And he was down in, I believe, 29th in points. Yes, he was. So that's going to help get him away from that cut line. A well-needed run for one of our former winners this season. And Tyler Deaver continues his consistency as he's going to get a top 10 run here today. And I think that may have just jumped him into the top 5 in the point standings heading into next week's race. Rest of your top 15, it was Tony Green, Joseph Srigley. How about Easton Barber? Nice to see the 3-car get a good run here as he's been having a real struggling year. His teammate Michael Whitman finishes right behind him in 14th, and Eli Bright was 15th. The rest of the top 10 was pole sitter Nick Johnson 16th, Dylan Theroux 17th, 18th Marty Czekala. Ryan Brommer will get 19th with I Nicholls completing the top 10. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, you see Shane Lake had to make that unscheduled pit stop under our only caution of the day. Cost him a lot of track position and a good run. He finished 35th, though, as the last car to finish on the lead lap was Jessica Miles, who came in second in the points. So with Ace Garcia finishing third, Miles finishing 38th, oh boy, that points lead is going to continue to grow for the 51 truck. Marcus Saatchi was the only car to finish a lap down in 39th, and Seth Cole, Paul Minnick, and Joshua Hyatt, two of those drivers coming into this race top 5 in the point standings, Cole and Hyatt, finishing out of the race. Two due to crash damage, one due to a mechanical problem that began at the very start of today's race. But end result, Charles Jackson picks up the win here today at Phoenix and may have very well just made himself the first driver locked into this season's chase for the TaxSlayer Truck Series Championship. We still got to finish up this race weekend here at Phoenix, though. The Pizza Hut X Series drivers, they are finally back after their off week last week, and then we cap it off with the Hershey's Cup Series drivers. And of course, for those two series as well, they are in the chase towards the championship, or the chase for the championship as well. And a lot of moves could be made in the championship scenarios there as well, so you'll want to tune into that. For the TaxSlayer Truck Series, you will see them next week as we're not leaving the state of Arizona. We'll be back for a 1.5-mile track, at Arizona Speedway. So that should be a very interesting race, and we'll have to see if any driver is going to take a leaf out of the Charles Jackson book and get themselves a second win ASAP to try and make sure they get locked into this season's chase for the championship in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. But thank you all for tuning in to today's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown your full official results. These are your point standings headed next week at Arizona Speedway, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.